So when I was in high school, I was a player. And I probably wouldn't have told you that at the time, but the truth is, looking back, I really was a player. I had 5 girlfriends in 3 years. And one of those relationships was a year and a month long. The worst part about it all is that none of those 5 women, none of those 5 girls are my wife. You know, it's definitely something I'm not proud of, but I learned something pretty interesting through that. So let me tell you the story first. See, I dated all these girls looking for the one. And the problem is those that were the one only lasted about a month, and then the relationship would end because we'd hit some sort of wall, or our personalities would clash so much that we just decided to go our separate ways until senior year. In senior year, I met her. The girl I was gonna spend the rest of my life with. I mean, she was attractive, she was smart, she was a Christian, and best of all, she was into me. And so we dated, and we dated, and we dated, and we made plans. See, I was a senior, she was a junior, so we had this big elaborate plan about how, I was gonna wait around for a year, and then we were gonna go to college together in Kentucky, and everything was going wonderful until, boom, out of nowhere, she wanted to take a break. She didn't want to break up, she wanted to take a break. But when I heard that, I freaked out. And I broke up with her right there on the spot, and in the process, wrecked my world. Now, this was not new to me. I mean, this happened every time I broke up with a girl. I'd shut down for a couple of days, I'd bandage myself up, because I needed to. I deserved to. I just poured a ton of time and really all of my heart into this relationship that just got pulled out from under me. I really didn't have anywhere else I could go. And so I spent 5 months getting over this relationship that lasted for 13 months. So for 5 months, I totally spent that time refocusing my life back on something else, putting something else on the center of my life. And that really, to be honest, limited my freedom. Now, if you're honest, you'd say that you agree with me. You know exactly what I'm talking about. See, we've all had those moments. We've had those spots in time where we just feel hopeless and broken and trapped, all because something that we poured our entire life into, something we had poured all our time into, it failed us. And the worst part is, when you're in that position, there's nothing you can do about it. The sad part is, many of us, like me, we just continue in our cycle of stupidity, really. We put something in the center of our lives, it fails us, and then we get tossed into this cycle of brokenness, and it's just horrible. The truth is, it just limits our freedom. Think about it. Before it failed you, before they failed you, you were happy. You could really do whatever you wanted to do. But now, even if you wanted to be happy, even if you wanted to do something, it's like when they left, they took your freedom too. In Scripture, this idea is called idolatry. I know when we hear idolatry today, we don't really think that applies, or really, that we deal with that kind of stuff, but we do. Think about it. An idol is just something that takes the place of God. And so idolatry is when we place something at the center of our lives that is not God. Last week we started this new series called 10. We're talking about the 10 commandments, the big 10. Today I want to read the first 2 commandments. And just in case you don't know them, I know you may, but just in case you don't know them, let me read those to you. And God spoke all these words, saying, I am the Lord your God, who brought you out of the land of Egypt, out of the house of slavery. You shall have no other gods before me. You shall not make for yourself a carved image or any likeness of anything that is in heaven above, or that is in the earth beneath, or that is in the waters under the earth. You shall not bow down to them or serve them, for I, the Lord your God, am a jealous God, visiting the iniquity of the fathers on the children to the 3rd and 4th generation of those who hate me, but showing steadfast love to thousands of those who love me and keep my commandments. Okay, so check this out. After you read this passage, you can believe one of 2 things about God. One, that God is insecure and He can't let you worship or put anything at the center of your life that's not Him, because He has to keep this big ego thing going on. So in order for Him to not lose you, He has to limit your freedom. Or number two, God knows that He is the only one that will not fail you, and He wants to see you happy. And if that's the case, then He's really giving you maximum freedom. Now, the key to understanding this passage is one word: jealous. And when you hear that word, you think, yeah, God has an ego apparently. But that's not what jealous means. Jealous means to be intolerant of unfaithfulness. And so last week we learned that relationship always comes before rules with God. So jealous isn't saying, hey, I'm jealous because I have an ego. God's saying, I'm jealous because I know that I'm the only one that deserves to be at the center of your life. Everything else will fail you. In the book of Acts, the Apostle Paul says, in Him we live, move, and have our being. And that is so huge. See, we were created to be in relationship with God. The whole world was created and designed to work around the fact that we have a relationship with God. And so we were designed that not only in Him we live, move, and have our being, but we were designed that in Him we have maximum freedom. I mean, we know how it ends. You put something at the center of your life, it fails you, then you get thrown into this crazy period, these crazy moments of hopelessness and brokenness and emptiness. And so God says, don't put anything at the center of your life that's not Him, because He will never fail you. Listen, the most important decision you will ever make in the entirety of your life is what you put at the center of your life.